Hey guys, what is going on? It's your boy Fallen, and welcome back to another video. And today we're taking a look at another peer-to-peer rental marketplace. Now, for people who've seen our last video, we've taken a look at what ShareGrid.com looks like in 2023. For people who haven't seen that video, I do recommend highly check it out. I went through a whole overview process of from creating a profile, listing gear, and also renting gear from it. Now, what is a peer-to-peer rental house? So some of you might have heard of that. There's rental houses where you can rent all sorts of creative gear, camera, lighting, lenses, audio equipment. Now, oftentimes those are funded by very large companies with very large budgets, and these peer-to-peer platforms are supposed to be a disruptor in the space that are meant to be created for individuals, where individuals can make a profile and list the personal gear that is sitting around their homes, their apartments, their studios, and list the gear that they spend their hard-earned money purchasing for their own creative endeavors, and they're trying to get some additional return on their investments by renting out their gear to other individuals that are either trying to use it for different productions or to test it out before buying it themselves, or if they're working on a budget and they can't make a financial commitment and just buy it out outright. Now, like I said, I've given you guys a tour a little bit of what ShareGrid looks like, and this time I want to give you what a Kitsplit looks like in 2023. I had to make a brand new profile, and in the next video I'll be doing a head-to-head battle, and let's see which one wins in the very end. Now, similar to ShareGrid, Kitsplit does have a KYC component to it. KYC stands for Know Your Customer. KYC, it prevents bad actors from either renting gear, meaning people who are trying to rent gear fraudulently, meaning either using stolen credit cards or stolen information, and people who are renting gear potentially losing their gear. Also from people who are trying to manipulate the system and any sort of negative information. So you do need to provide a lot of personal information associated with it. So if you don't feel comfortable doing that, such as providing the last four of your social, your name, your address, your phone number, your email, along with a few different personal pieces of information, including a copy of your ID, you will not be able to create a profile. Now, all these are very safely stored on both of their servers, but once again, they're meant to prevent bad actors on being on both sides of the platform. After you went through a process of creating an account, this is what a dashboard looks like. Now, I had a bit of an issue creating a profile on it. Now, I currently reside in South Florida, and I did try to use my South Florida address as part of the registration process because I do hold a residence out here, but Kitsplit did not recognize as my address because it's not the address that's listed on my government issued ID because I did not switch it over yet. So I had to use my Long Island address when I resided in Long Island. So keep that in mind when registering for a profile. If you have other experiences making a profile on Kitsplit, would love to know in the comment section, or any other personal experiences using this platform. So after you finish making a profile out here, this is what a dashboard looks like, either from a rentor or a rentee, or either if you're interested in being a company or an individual. So we did create our profile as a business. And funny enough, we listed ourselves as Sputnik Entertainment, but we do have an Outlook email, and it found our company name, which is our full company name, Sputnik Entertainment, Press and Media. So it's kind of did some already digging around, which can be seen a little bit as a good or a bad thing, depending on how you look at it. But this is what it looks like as a dashboard. So if you're interested in renting out gear, what you would do is you would put in your area that you're located in. Let's say you're based out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. And this is the gear that is located in the Tulsa area. So we have two pieces of gear. We have a Scarlett red camera, and we have a Sony FS700. This is not the best example. Let's come up with a better one that's maybe not so populated. Let's think of Toledo, Ohio. I used to live in Toledo, Ohio for a period of time. I went to high school out there, and we do have 9 pieces of gear. Now, what makes Kitsplit a little bit better, if you've seen our share grid video, is that share grid likes to use hubs. So it does not have all the possible cities in the United States that you can put in the search. It puts cities into hubs. So it doesn't matter if you put Toledo, it would probably put you either in Chicago or Detroit area, because those are the major hubs that are in the surrounding area. And I see it as a bit of a con, because if you're looking for a particular gear that you're trying to rent and you find it for the price that you like, and you click on that piece of gear and you see that it's 60 miles away, it might be a bit of a deterrent for you to rent from that particular individual, because you see that it's very far you. It might be inconvenient for you or impossible for you to get it if you don't have a car, or you work a full-time job and you don't have the time to do it, or if it's a high delivery fee associated with it. But what makes Kitsplit special, it allows you to put your custom location. So all these individuals listed their gear out here. For example, this individual listed this Tascam portable recorder. Let's take a look at it. They're renting it for $16 a day. And similar to Share Grid, weekends are considered to be as a day rate. You put in your pickup dates, your return dates, and what makes it a little bit more specific, it even picks up the pickup and return times. Share Grid does not do that. I'm not sure why Kitsplit decided to accommodate that, but it's a little bit different. And similar to Share Grid, it has a equipment replacement value. I'm sorry, if you had to file an insurance claim on it. Now, this piece of gear is being rented out by Jacob D. They gave a little bit of a description and everything else that is included with it, including with providing what kind of brand it is, the model, and the condition. Now, if we take a look at Jacob's profile, they've been on here since June 2021. They're located in Temperance, Michigan. They did provide their government ID, their name, and their address. So they did go through their KYC process. Now let's take a look at some of the other gear that they have listed, which includes their Sony A7 Mark III, their Sony FE70-300 lens, and a couple of light stands from Newer for $20 a day. So he does have a couple pieces of gear. Now, once again, the gear that is available just based on the location, and you can actually just scroll through the map and the gear gets automatically adjusted based off where you're scrolling. So if I want to scroll into this area, the gear gets automatically populated. So you see this EOS C100, I'm sorry, that's being rented out for $110 a day. You can see of where it's actually based, and it's being rented out by Michael F. And he does have 18 reviews with a 5-star rating. You see he did provide a little bit of a review. He did provide a bit of a custom description of a camera, and it only includes a black Canon camera bag. So it's a very basic model. Some individuals like to include stock photos. Some individuals like to include their own individual photos that they take in their personal space. Just depends on the individual. Now, Michael does have some reviews from individuals that did rent from him before. That is because it seems that Michael has a wide variety of gear. Actually, across all categories, he has 41 pieces of gear that he has listed. It makes sense, because the more gear you list, the higher chances of someone renting from you long term, because that means you're appealing to a wide variety of audience. He has some heads, he has some adapters, some recorders, even a Phantom 3 Professional 4K. Even to today's standard, it might be seen as a decent drone camera, because I remember when DJI Phantoms used to be very popular. Of course, now they're considered to be a little bit outdated. Now, Michael is a videographer and a video producer. He has a little bio associated with him. I'm an independent filmmaker, photojournalist, and a documentarian, and co-founder of Film Haven Productions from New Haven, Connecticut. Now, he does his own personal website link, which you can go visit. He went through the government ID verification, email address, name, and address. And he's been members here since 2016, so he's been a member here for quite a period of time, and accommodated even one follower that follows him. He said he does have a 5-star overall rating with 18 reviews. Now you might ask me, how do you set up your profile? And I'll show this to you right now. So if we take a look at our profile section, this is where everything is done. So this is us because we did set up a company profile, and this is where our picture would go along with our bio and our reviews and references. So the interesting thing is that Kitsplit does allow also professional references to be listed, either from experiences or interactions, either from if you're being hired as a videographer, photographer, audio professional, lighting professional, DP, editor, etc. People can leave professional references here as well. And also you could include your listings along with your links here on your profile as well. Now, like I said, I'll give you guys a more in-depth look into our profile as the year keeps going, because I do want to make it as part of the Sputnik Entertainment business model going in. And I want to give you guys an overview of how much money ShareGrid and Kitsplit has generated to us by the end of the year. So this is why I'm doing an overview of these two platforms. Now you can also search for a wide variety of equipment if you're interested in searching for that, similar to ShareGrid, or if you're interested in any sort of equipment that you're specializing in. Now, of course, if you're looking at major hubs, like let's say Miami, if I learn how to type, and we're going to take a look at all cameras. There's a wide variety of cameras, of course, that are based in major hubs, like an Area Alexa kit, which rents for about $2,000 a day with a replacement value of $130,000. Now, similar to us, they created their profile as a company. Now it seems to be it's a brand new user. Similar, let's see when they made their profile. They made their profile of June 2022. They're based out of North Bay Village, Florida. They have no reviews yet, but they did list 53 pieces of gear. They did go through the whole KYC process. 5 4-party films maximizes and available resources in order to work with our allies to create stories that help grow us together and contribute culturally to society. Seems a little bit vague. I said it's one of those, it seems like those ICO crypto websites that are vague and they try to say things but they don't say anything at the same time. No, I'm not trying to throw them under the bus, but I feel like they could have done a little bit better job of describing what they actually do, and what kind of business they're in. Either they're in the camera rental business or they're in photography and videography business. But it is what it is. But also, you might ask me, hey, Fallen, how do you actually list equipment on it? Because you talk about making money on here. Well, this is why this section is here. So after you go through the whole KYC process out here, you would click on the list gear button, and this window comes up. So let's say you're trying to list Canon C100. Canon C100. Now, it's one of our cameras. It's been a staple of some of the productions that we've done over the years. And what I like about Kitsplit over ShareGrid, it has this autofill section along with providing an overview. So as you guys can see, it auto figured out what is Canon C100 for the most part. It figured out it's a camera. You can also add it as a subcategory if you would like. It knew it was a Canon. It also knew it was EOS C100 is the actual model associated with it. And you can also make it as a generic if you would like. It also knew it's an HD quality recording, which is fully correct. It does do photo and video, but it mostly focuses on video. And it uses the EF mount, although technically you can run different types of adapters associated with it. So let's say if you wanted to continue. Here you would create a listing title associated with it. So you can be as creative as possible, similar to ShareGrid. And you would include all the photos. Like I said, if you want to include stock photos, you can include stock photos. If you want to be creative and take your own photos, you can take your own photos. Here, similar to what we saw, people include descriptions of what is included along with the product description. So to give people a bit of an overview if people are not familiar with that piece of gear. Kind of gives you an addition of the condition of the gear. The SKU part, which is the stock keeping unit, I would leave that blank. It's not necessary. It's not like you're selling the gear. And as we guys saw, you can also add accessories that is part of a kit. So if you say it's a kit, you would add accessories to it. Underneath this, you would price out as a price rental per day and the replacement value as we saw in others listings. Similar to ShareGrid, there is a market scale associated with it. So let's say this would be, you're more likely to get rentals at this price. So suggested market price is $100 a day. But if we moved it here to, let's say, $498 a day, you're less likely to get rentals at this price because the suggested market price is $100. And then you can auto snap it to this price as well. And here you'll be able to have the gear address location. After this, you can see the listing of how it would look like, and it will give you a bit of an overview. You can also activate the listing, duplicate the listing, and edit the listing if you do not like it. And also, as I previously mentioned, you do have to go through a KYC process before US Gear, because once again, it's meant to protect all the individual users from renting gear, listing fake gear, listing fraudulent gear, and protecting both people either on the rental side or people who are interested in renting gear on it. If we click on this chat button, you can also see all the invoices that are happening, the references, the rentals, and the reviews that have happened on your profile. You can also see the owner view and the renter view. So if you want to see the gear that you have rented out from other individuals, or if you want to see it from the owner, meaning that you're renting out gear. So guys, let me know what you guys think of Kitsplit versus ShareGrid. If you guys have any questions about Kitsplit, I would love to know, because in the next video, we're doing a head-to-head battle between the two platforms. Once again, I think it's a nice passive way to generate some gear that from the gear that is sitting around collecting dust. And you can literally list anything that is creative industry related. You can list your hard drives, you can list your microphones, your tripods, your stabilizers. Like, the list is limitless. The microphone that I'm recording this on, I could put this on. I mean, I could put this on. The videos, the days that I'm not shooting, I could rent this gear out. And eventually, over time, I could potentially, the money that I spend on this microphone, even though this was a present from Spotify, shout out Spotify, make my money back on this microphone. But let's say my hard drives, the money I spend on my hard drives is ridiculous. And if I wanted to rent out my hard drives over time, I could make back partially the money back, and I could reinvest it for bigger and better gear, which would allow me to create bigger and better productions to share with you guys. Anyways, that's at least my 2 cents on it. By the way, C-stands is a staple for any rental house. C-stands always go, guys. If anything, I would recommend investing in some C-stands. That will always generate some income. C-stands is a staple of any production. Anyways, guys, if you want to stay in touch with me, all my social links will be in the description. If you have any video ideas or any other companies that you want me to check out in general or for side hustles in 2023, either let me know on social media or leave them in the comments section below. Anyways, guys, if you have experience using Kitsplit, let me know. If you have experience using ShareGrid, let me know. And like I said, I'll see you in the next video of head-to-head battle between the two giants. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.